Can see you now.
All right, guys.
Hey, Samson.
Hi.
All right. So you're gonna go second, okay, Samson? But I'm gonna
Yeah, sure.
make sure to, introduce
Yeah,
everyone.
thank you.
Don't worry.
Can I go third in case like my granddaughter calls or my daughter with my granddaughter?
Yeah, we could do that, no problem.
Cool.
All right.
Because it's my first granddaughter. I don't want to miss her.
No worries at all. I know your first granddaughter.
Are we live?
No, we're not live yet.
Okay, let me make my hair.
Don't worry. We're recording, but it's okay. Sammy will edit this out, I think. No, it always just takes a couple minutes for this to go live.
So is everybody here familiar with each other than this particular program today? Have you guys met each other before? No? Okay, cool.
Funny, I think I did meet Tatiana. I used to work at Busboys and Poets. I was a bookseller.
Yeah?
And I think we met
Briefly.
briefly, yes.
Yep.
Well, funny enough, I had two different jobs. I first started as a bookseller at the Hyattsville location, and then I was a literary events something. I forgot the rest of the title, but I basically helped to put on like the author events and everything around that stuff and fielding a lot of that stuff. So
yeah, I may have seen you there. You look familiar.
Yeah, you do too.
All right.
You do too.
All right, folks, we are live. So I'm going to go ahead and get us started off with a poem. After the revolution, sunrises capture hues artists could never recreate, too vibrant for canvas to convey. The horizon hugging oceans and clouds together where the highest peaks of land kisses us all as a greeting. Alarm clocks are sonidos del campo, or Fania all-stars or boleros para abuela. I don't have to scavenge for pastele ingredients in the Latin food aisle, Megamart, or Best Way, while pan sobao is not a dream found only in tropical humidity. A bridge connecting La Isla to the mainland is adorned by iridescent coral reefs and blessed by waves, allowing safe passage to the children of Inés y Agüeybaná. Rivers flow upstream and downstream, quenching the thirst of each mouth they touch. Roots ripped from the mountains and branches burned to the dirt resurrected by Agua Florida. La fiesta patronale bring back Frankie, Hector, and Celia after fireworks dance bomba with the stars and sea breezes birthing rhythms only angels can conjure. Calderos on stoves molded by sofrito, sazón, aceite y ajo wake the warmth of mamitita to ward off the chills only the Northeast knows. Books of the Burgos, Garcia Marquez y Neruda mimic the voice of Evelyn each time their spine bends to retell stories a century old. Houses do not crack to an earthquake, twist to a hurricane, or crumble to white-tongued dollar signs. Spanglish is declared an official language, and dialects and slang belong to no hierarchies, paying homage to a Spanish crown that forgot our lands before we were ever born. Where are you from is not a question. Everyone understands we were pillaged, deemed unholy. My father and brother, husband and son will never fight in a war not theirs to welcome a bullet carved with another man's name. The people do not fear their own power, raising a flag of their own design to chant their strength across now erased borders. Even dogs, cats, and chickens with no homes know they own the streets they roam. The shackles of our great-great-grandfathers are made into a crucifix, an altar, a sanctuary as we pray for their forgiveness. The cemetery stops being the brightest place in El Pueblo. The church stops being the center of El Pueblo. Despojos are not brujeria. Santeria is not del diablo. Catholicism is not the only way to heaven. I am not looked at as an alien, and my hair is not questioned, nor my skin, nor my accent, nor my name. I am not labeled foreigner by those unwilling to admit Americans are born in more than one country. And a coquí sits by my window each night ensuring my mother will never stop singing.
All right.
What up, everybody? Welcome to Mother Tongues Open
That's good.
Mic.
You can dance to that one. You know?
Thank you. Thank you for the love. All right, everybody. So for those of you who don't know, if this is your first time joining us, we are here at the Mother Tongues Open Mic. Shout out to American Poetry Museum for always giving us a welcoming home here on this virtual platform. Before we actually started recording and started live streaming, we were actually talking about how great of a place the American Poetry Museum is. For any artist in DC or in the DMV area in general, you've got to know the American Poetry Museum. It's really a community for building, for creating conversation, and sharing your art with each other, no matter what type of art it is. So we're very thankful that we've got this space to come together, at least virtually, even though we're not physically in the same space. Our spirits are in the same space together. So it's so nice to have all of these beautiful faces on the screen with us. And I know we've got a lot of more beautiful faces with us coming through us through Facebook Live, even though we can't hear you. We can't really see you, but we can see your comments. We could see you viewing. So make sure to show some love as we go through the night, okay? You could comment. You could like do the love symbol. You could do that stuff. You could also share, you know, spread the love, okay? Don't be selfish with this recording, all right? So if you have not already, make sure that you give a big like on Facebook to American Poetry Museum. And if you feel so inclined to, please give a donation. You know, it really is a space for the community. This pandemic is really affecting everybody. As I mentioned earlier, we're not really able to do physical events, but, you know, hopefully we could come back together sometime soon in a safe way. All right, so I'm gonna get out of the way because we've got some dope artists coming up tonight. So it's going to be a very nice, intimate night with these wonderful, wonderful artists. So as you know, any language goes. Each artist is going to be reading a couple of poems, so make sure that you show them some love throughout the night. And first up, we've got none other than Armando Batista.
Mando.
Gracias, Tatiana. Thank you so much. And again, thank you to APM. And to you for being the hostess with the mostest. I feel so inspired by the piece you just dropped. You know what I mean? It was like a sancocho, you know, so because of that, I feel like I had to shift around what I want to read. So I'm going to read two pieces. The first one is called Map Making. And these are from a manuscript that I'm working on, a poetry manuscript called Roadman. Map Making. I like maps because they lie. The map inside me, hidden, a treasure under my skin, a treasure in my story. The map terraforms, with peaks and valleys outlined by the blood of my ancestors. Ancestral knowledge shapes my being. Ancestral trauma shapes my pain. Turn to page 1491 to know them before Columbus stole their origin story. The map originates in my future mother and father, before they knew of hidden treasure. It starts in the Dominican Republic, eastern part of the island first known as Haiti, Quisqueya, to the indigenous Tainos. Haiti, primo a la Western Divide. Shared blood runs deep with ambivalence. Turn to page 1844 to know how utopia may have been. The keys, cassava, guava, brown skin and virtuous hips drumming out Afro Codex, La Tambora, Si Perico Ripiao. The keys, language, ferried through imperialist teeth to the ears of settlers on other stolen shores, Balbacoa, Hamaca, Huracan, Turn to the pages of your Oxford English to find our stolen treasure. The map reforms in New York circa 1979, stretched out on the vientre of the woman who will become my mother. I'm the fourth X. Turn to page 2016 to know my beautiful struggle with art and commerce. She and my future father have to figure out how to locate empty bellies and unearth hidden dreams with limited instrumentation. Turn to page 1993 to see how I stole my blessing. Manhattan's map was also formed by una tortuga carrying the Algonquin nation on her mothering back. Turn to page 1626 to learn how these democratic OGs were duped at their infinite game of trade. Stolen in translation, see serpent's tongue. The map inside me. It points to the past, to the unknowable, to ghost memories that may lead me down a faded road of struggle or criminal means or daydreams, all grand design. Makes me wonder how I keep from going under. Hidden in plain sight.
All right. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I did hear some other feedback, so maybe some folks might want to check with the microphones are muted. But I appreciate it. All right, let me see if I can get to the other piece. All right, this piece is called Mocha Macho. John Wayne, in Technicolor, weighing me down, putting his dusty boots on my brown neck. I'm his scripted brown savage. Shoots macho mumbo jumbo through the holes he's projected onto the screen of my body. Wholesome white lady screams bloody murder, hoping my savage will silence her. I'm still looking for the macho in my body. Rocky, Rambo, Sylvester, sweat, cells, movie muscles. Corner the testosterone market makes me wanna shoot up to dangle a muscle-bound carrot for the macho lurking in the shade of my inner volcano. TV land, reruns, penis pressure. Rocky, John McClane, Bruce Lee, Patrick Swayze, Arnold. Go full macho or lie full throttle. May never come back. Lose something. Can't keep it up. The myth. Even astrophysicists struggle with naming a dark matter in a non-patriarchal way. Weak interacting massive particle, WIMP. Or massive compact halo object, macho. There are no males in the cosmos. I'm looking for the macho in my body. Hardcore, stoic sentinel guarding the wilting roses in my vulnerable vase. I'm looking for the muscles of peacock youth braggadocious to a fault lines on my forehead where plain old gentleness fall into. I'm looking for the power-up switch to a more manly me, but it's more like MOCHA. Men operating on compassion, humility, and awareness. Or MOCHA, creamy oat milk, frothy, my heart's sleeve, ganache, silky smooth, 80% dark chocolate, love, 20% milky reflection, and random Lego pieces fleshing out my childhood ruminations, and single issue small press comic books smoothing over linear narratives, and nature walks, or botanical garden visits, or sometimes plant shopping at IKEA with my sunflowered fiancé. I like watching just enough sports to see the ballet of genius bodies at play. Mocha, espresso, cafe, Ethiopia. Slightly west of the Horn of Mother Africa, legendary birth traversed brown hands, Mayan gold. Mocha, macho, mucho. Death rattle of ubermensch scratches at my palimpsest mantra. You are no more than stick and no balls, no more than possessor and no oppressor, no more than yes, savior and yes, brute, yes, no. One will miss you. I sigh, my gentle precedes man, by the hand walks him home. A dirt mound lays over my historic rotting flesh. Elegy. Here lies male, meal for worms. Damn, Adam. Bite your own apple, eat the rotting thought inside. She'll walk by, unimpressed.
Very dope, Armando. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. You know, the one line that stuck out from your second poem was "There are no males in the cosmos." I might have to steal that, and it might have
Valid.
inspired another poem. So,
Valid, girl.
of course, I'll give credit where credit is due. But very, very dope. Very, very dope. Thank you for sharing, and I'm glad you joined us today.
My pleasure.
You know, you are getting some love in the comments, by the way. And I do also want to say we've got a lot of new people watching us tonight. So welcome to everybody who's watching us for the first time. I hope you enjoy, and I hope we'll see you again. For those of you who don't know, this is a monthly open mic that we do. It is multilingual, so we encourage all languages, all different types of folks. We want to represent the diversity that is Washington, D.C. and the DMV. Is not just one note of artistry. So we really want to highlight that. Like I said, it's a monthly open mic, so just take a minute to like the American Poetry Museum on Facebook, and that way you could keep up with our next monthly open mic, which will be in August. All right, next up on the mic, we've got a first-time grandfather coming to share not only his visual art that you'll see in the background, but also his spoken art. So everybody give a warm welcome to Joel. Oh, Joel, my dear, you are on mute.
Am I there now?
Yep, you're good now. The floor is yours.
Pretty good with this technology, right? I really appreciate all the stuff I heard just before me, and I was dancing to it, so it was really nice to hear. Okay, as you said, my name is Joel Crooms. I love the Poetry Museum. I love Sammy, Brandon, and Ruben, and Mignonette, everybody, and meeting Tatiana on this medium 3 events ago has been great. But I write mostly about the things that I see around me and stuff. And I live east of the Anacostia. I'm really proud of it, you know. I moved to DC 5 years ago from Newark, New Jersey and stuff. And I moved to a Black neighborhood. I had no qualms about it. I love it. I love the noise. I love the love. I love everything that happens here. But this poem is about the holiday that just passed, and 2 holidays, July the 4th and Juneteenth. And Juneteenth this year took on a particular significance in America and stuff. So this is Juneteenth. Juneteenth through the 4th of July and beyond. Boom, 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 bang, boom, sweet, crack, crackle, bang, bang, zoom, swoosh, zip, boom, boom, woo, all night long. Juneteenth. They finally told us we free. What is the 4th to me? July 4th is a lie, a joke. Pop out, brat, brat. Where we live, guns are used to celebrate. They're used to celebrate too. The 4th has a Star-Spangled Anthem. It calls for the death of the traitorous slave. That would be me. That would be me. You are sisters and brothers. Pow, 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 pop, pop, pop. Juneteenth has an anthem too. Voices sing, lifting us higher and higher till victory is won, won. Zoom, bang, pow, 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 pop, 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 bang. Boom, crackles. I choose the latter. Voices lifting us higher till victory is won, won. The 4th of July can be fun, but it's Juneteenth for us. That's the first one, okay? And I tried to keep it short. And the next one I did is called Sister Circle. And that one is relating to the 2 pieces of work that you see behind me. And like I said, I've been heavily influenced by the millennials, and in particular, the women that I see in DC for the past 3-4 years and stuff. So, and it's about the relationships that these women have with each other in the community, and my desire to be involved in it but realizing that it's their space, you know what I mean? And as a male, I really can't be in that space. I can support it and do all kinds of stuff like that, but it's their choice, their decisions and stuff. And it's been really good and great. So this one is called Sister Circle. If you have ever witnessed a sister circle, you've truly been blessed. The circles have been going on forever. They have protected us, nurtured us, inspired, eternal. Weak men fear the circle. Free men welcome and love it. The circle is the womb, the earth, the universe, creation. I witness the circle daily. If you are smart and strong, you welcome the circle. You can't join the circle. You can work with the circle. Together we'll be strong, unstoppable. So love and protect the circle, the sister circle. Respect, revere, and rejoice. And that's the second one. So, like I said, I really love what I'm seeing here. Thank you very much. And this is another one, but we're only supposed to do two, so I'll wait and listen to other folks. And if there's time, I got another one.
All right. I mean, if you want, you could go ahead and do it right now.
Okay. Since you gave me a chance.
Yeah, you know, like I said, we're not going to censor you.
Okay. And my stuff sometimes gets long, but I tried to get the shorter ones. And this one is, again, for women, and in particular, Black women's hair. If you see up there, you can see Zora Neale Hurston, and this piece here is a artist, Janet Pickett. And she was one of my early teachers and stuff, believe it or not, like when I was first entering college and I was in New York and I thought I was really cool and knew everything. And the sister showed me that I didn't know everything and stuff, so. But this one is called Black Women's Hair. Black women's hair. I've loved Black women's hair all my life. From my mama's soft and smelling, sweet pungent from that blue bergamot, thickly in the air. My sisters, cousins, aunts, and their friends in the kitchen, hot combs on the stove, among shrill voices and deep laughs, peppered with conversations, taboo for a young boy's ears. I've always loved Black women's hair. From Margaret H's long, thick black braids I used to pull because I didn't know any other way to let her know how I felt about her, to the thickest coils of hair on my niece's head that only those who knew our secrets could do. Always loved their hair. When it's straight, thin, silky, when it's a wig in some magical color, style, or length. Even when we didn't know we was Black. When it weaves, braids, or locks. When we learn to love our culture, loved it in Bantu knots, love it when it's cut to the quick, when it's shaved bald, love those Afro puffs, yes, all those crazy cuts with parts, flips, waves, and finger curls. When the life first starts, the hair in the baby's head. Now that I'm grown, the smell of argan or coconut oil, or even hair crack on my love's head. I've always, will always love Black women's hair. Next. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Joel. And let me tell you one thing. I'm glad that I said you could read that poem because I would have never forgiven myself if I would have known I asked you not to read an ode to hair. I would have never been able to live with myself. I love a good hair poem. And, you know, I really want to highlight, you know, the respect that you showed women and femmes and sisterhood in your poetry tonight, and even in our conversations earlier. You know, I really appreciate that. And, you know, as a femme myself, as a woman of color, sisterhood is really important for me, and showing that respect for our fellow femmes is really important for me. So I thank you for putting that out there.
You're welcome.
Right. So, and speaking of sisterhood, next up, we've got the only other sister in this lineup tonight. What's up? We gotta get some more women next time. We got Dahlia, Aguilar.
Thank you, Tatiana. It's such an honor to be here with all these other poets. Thanks so much for inviting me to this space. My grandmother died in December of 2018, and this was one of a series of poems that came after that. time where I realized I was losing an era and a space that she held. It's called La Casita de Abuela. There are holes in the bathroom floor where you can see the earth. Where the roaches come in, cucarachas, the size of newborn kittens. Some take flight. Watch out, they used to tell me. They get stuck in your hair. Houses in Corpus, raised above ground, on stilts, on cinder blocks, to prevent flooding during hurricanes. There have been many. The saddest one took my mother's wedding photos. Celia se llamaba. Drowned them all and left only the proofs. Poor mommy, solo un recuerdo, didn't like it either, what with one eye closed and all. En la casita de mi abuela, you're not allowed in the living room, only the dining room or kitchen, where all the escuincles have painted a palette of ranchera and tomatillo on stucco walls. Only the table is like new. Not that we've ever seen it. A plastic tablecloth keeps the barbacoa and menudo from seeping into its folds. En la casita de mi abuela, our diapers were soiled and changed, our bottles warmed and served. She put us to sleep on the sofa while she watched Las Historias, soap operas that taught her English. And if her oldest children complain that she leaves their babies to sleep on the sofa where we could fall, she chuckles, pues, they won't go past the floor. En la casita de abuela, we were scolded and spanked. She once chased my uncle with a broom. See, he was giving me a pump on the handlebars of his bike, steering full speed ahead. I begged him to stop. Too fast, I said. We're gonna crash into that mesquite tree. But he didn't stop. He drove us both into its thorny branches, clawing at my face, my hair, my tank top. I ran into the house, my uncle screaming behind me, don't tell, you're such a baby cry. When Abuela saw my bloody face, she was sent into a rage. He refused to come in the house, but she caught him eventually. When he thought it was safe, she caught him by one hand, curls in her hands and fingers, and with the other arm beat him with her broomstick. En la casita de abuela, we come in the dead of night. My father has been drinking again. Mama says this time is the last time. Can't take it anymore. But grandma reminds her who he is. He works hard, mija. He's a good father. He loves you. Todos los hombres son iguales. Be good, she says, like mama was asking for it. En la casita de abuela, I watch her serving, cleaning, mopping, sweeping, vacuuming, and starting all over again. Amidst it all, my grandfather makes demands from behind the Corpus Christi Caller Times. Más tortillas, Jesusa. These are cold, Jesusa. Bring me more tea, Jesusa. Mwah. The ice is melted, Jesusa. I have wanted all my life to ask him, and finally do, if you consider yourself a man, a strong man, a capable man, why is grandma always waiting on you like a child? I can hear my grandma laughing in the kitchen. Cabrona is all he says to me. Grandma winks at me as she serves him his tea. En la casita de abuela hay tantas fotos, her 11 children, military uniform, army, navy, caps, gowns, 38 grandchildren, ruffles and lace, communions, confirmations, altars, and caskets. To protect them all is sad Jesus on the cross, bleeding velvet, and guardian angel who watches us and loves us at the bridge, y la Virgen al medio, the only one we truly worship. En la casita de abuela, the doors are closed, the windows boarded. We are all gone. No one to reprimand. Apagan las luces. Don't slam the door. You're letting the flies in. Pinche mosquitos. Nothing steams savory in this house. Not a tortilla, not carne guisada, ni chorizo. No one eats, no one laughs, no one. This poem is nothing like that poem, but my grandma makes a little cameo. This is a poem I wrote after a gladly short-lived relationship. It's part of a series called Polyamory. Polyamory 6.5. You tell me you don't want monogamy. The switchboard in my mind that governs love, sex, and romance has overloaded. I know none of these things are the same, but these calls go to the same antique control center. We're taking calls from 1980s Católica me, my grandmother, before we told her about vibrators me. I hear my mother's voice when I was 13, asking about the sex I was right about to have me. All of them saying, o eres puta o virgen. No range of options, la puta o la virgen. The choice is yours. You say polyamory, and the switchboard rings circa 1990, when all my friends were getting married, buying their first houses, having their first child, and decorating their first nursery, while I was jumping on a motorcycle with a bar back from Durango, trying to dance quebradita with no underwear at a wedding reception in Los Angeles. So many callers, so many messages. I'm wired into them all at once. Cacophony as prophecy. Always the bridesmaid, never the amor de lejos. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk? He's using you. I can't find the plug to yank it from its noisy source. The voices, pulse electric, laughing, heads shaking. It rings shame. It timbers embarrassment. The sound of 47, a woman, a mother, alone. Amidst the din, two lonely voices, yours and mine. On a private line with faded reception whisper, I only promise that I will love you.
Thank you so much for that, Dahlia. Let me tell you, the first poem, it just brought back so much nostalgia for me. You know, just thinking about, you know, my grandparents and, you know, toda la familia. And like when you talked about the plastic tablecloth, it just like literally today I was talking about that my grandma's house had the couch with the plastic on it. And it's like, you know,
También.
exactly. So like it just brought me back to that. And, you know, I really applaud you for talking about the machismo in both poems that you spoke about, you know, and not just the machismo that comes from men that Armando, you also touched, you know, not even touched upon, you directly spoke about it in your poem, but also the way that women participate in that as well. Just that that's how things are, you know, that's how the culture is, you know, todos los hombres son así, you know, like, and, you know, I really applaud you for talking about that in both of your poems and owning your space in both poems. So thank you for that. All right, so moving on, and Dahlia, by the way, you got a little fan club going on in this comment section over here. So thank you so much to everybody who's watching us and, you know, showing us love, because like I said, you know, a lot of it's here. We're used to doing live events, so we're used to hearing the crowd, we get energy from each other, so it's really weird for us that we're just sitting in silence. It's not the most comfortable thing, so we really appreciate you showing your love through the comments and by hitting that like and love button on the video, sharing the video. You know, we're feeling the energy, okay, right? We're feeling it over here. Yes, we're feeling it over here. So I'm gonna keep it moving. All right, next up we've got I'm really excited to hear this next poet, because I personally have never met them in person, but I've heard a lot about them, and I just love the Amharic language. So to me, it always sounds like prayer, and it's always so soothing to me. I'm learning a little bit, but not enough to understand a full poem, so I might need, you know, I'll text some people on the side afterwards and make sure I understand the whole message. But coming to the stage, the virtual stage, we've got all the way from across the US representing Ethiopia. We've got Samson. Show Samson some love, everybody.
All right, thank you guys. I hope you listen to me, right? You can hear me? Okay, good. So I'm from Ethiopia, of course, originally from Ethiopia, and I have 2 poems for today. By the way, I'm glad to be here, and thank you for inviting me. So these 2 poems are in Amharic. Amharic is the national language of Ethiopia. So the first one is about love. When I say I love you, or even if we have a little fight, I still say I love you. It's kind of, okay, the sense is like that. እወድሻለሁ ስል እወድሻለሁ ስል የሰው ሁሉ ልሳን ተዘግቶ ነበረ። በጆሮ ሹክ ያልኩት ጮክ ብሎ ዘመረ። እወድሻለሁ ስል አንደበቴ ደክሞ ምንም ጉልበት ባጣም ፍቅርሽ ልቤን ይዞት ስስት ሆነሽብኝ አቅሜ ቢጎዳም ጸጥ ያለው ምሽት አዳማጩን ዓለም ድምጼ ማፈርትቶ ጭራሽ አስተጋባ ላንቺ የቋጠርኩትን ሚስጥሬን አውጥቶ እናም የኔ ፍቅር ያ ሁሉ ምስክር ረጭ ያለው ዓለም ኋላ እንዳይፈርድብኝ የተጣላን ጊዜም እኔ እወድሻለሁ ማለት ነው ያለብኝ። All right, so the next one. Thank you. This one is about my country. Of course, Ethiopia has a diverse population, diverse culture, and this poem has a sense of let's say we are one but we are many, and again we are many but we are still one, kind of. አንድም ብዙም ተዘዝሮ የማያልቅ ታሪክ ባህል ያለን ብዙን የምንመስል እኛ እኮ አንድ ነን። በአባቶች ትግል በደም የተጣመርን አንድ የምንመስል እኛ እኮ ብዙ ነን። Thank you guys. Yes.
በጣም ቆንጆ ሳምሰን። It was very nice.
አመሰግናለሁ ቲታኒያ።
No, ችግር የለም። No, that was very, very beautiful. I mean, who doesn't love a good love poem, right? I mean, that's, even though we don't want to admit it, that's where we all started. Okay, we all started with the love poems. Okay, I was actually cleaning out my apartment the other day, and I found all of these notebooks from like middle school when I first started writing. I didn't even want to show my partner. He's like trying to wrestle it out of my hand, and I'm like, no. So, but I love the idea of, even if you're not happy in that moment, it's not a super loving moment with that person, it's uncomfortable, you still want to express that love for them. So I really love that. And I'm glad you also mentioned how diverse Ethiopia is, because I don't think a lot of people realize that outside of Ethiopia is very diverse, so many different languages, so many different backgrounds in Ethiopia. So wishing Ethiopia a lot of positive energy right now. Thank you for being here, Samson. So
Thank you.
Closing us out is a very, very dear friend of mine, one of my Amharic teachers, a poet, and also a friend of Samson. We have none other than Yohanes.
Hi, Tati. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep, you're good to go. We can hear you.
Okay. So, as you said, we all started with the love poem that I've just made it to some kind of an activism, expressing some emotion inside. 2 weeks ago, a renowned Ethiopian singer and songwriter whose name is Hachalu Hundessa died. He was murdered, and following that, there was unrest all over Ethiopia, especially in the Oromia region. And there was a genocide against the Oromos. It was a kind of ethnic cleansing of the Oromos and the Christians. So the people were slaughtered, raped, and killed brutally. Schools were burned down to ash, and pharmacies, hospitals, and everything. It was like making the region a history and the country a history. So it was really a sad moment. And all happened because of their ethnicity and their religion in the century. The very sad and unacceptable thing was, for me, people residing here in the US were spreading speech and inciting violence through social media, and activists were mischaracterizing the genocide with a pretext as if it happened on them or they were the victims, those who are orchestrating and supporting the genocide. So obviously it's a threat to the human race in general. Okay, let me jump into the poem. The first one is just expressing this: we don't need to have a virtual country. we don't need to have our country on a Facebook group, a kind of that. አገር ከሌለ የታገኝ ቆመጥ ምን ላይ ተሆኖ የት ሊበጠበጥ ባፈራረስከው የደም ከተማ ፊንፊኔ ከኛ በረራ የኛ ማለት የታለ ሁሉም ሲደማ አበባው ረግፎ ምድሯ ኬልዳማ ተፈቀፍቆ ይናፍቅሃል ሳትይቱ ቀን ይፍቅሃል ሲሆን ሲደርስ የጭንቁ ጊዜ ያጥራል ማጣፊያው ወግነው ትካዜ እንካ ሰላንታ በዳይ ተበዳይ ቂጥ ማሳረፊያ አምባ ማርገፊያ የታገኛል ፋታና ድንጋይ. That's it. And the second one is just it has a feeling that the time is just to ask people to stop this and come to the table and discuss, stop all the bloodshed and the tears. It's just another way of praying for love and peace. ዛሬም ነገም ዋይታ እዚህም እዚያም ለቅሶ ቀን በቀን ሰቀቀን ልፋታችን ታርሶ ዘለለት መከራ ተስፋ ተደምስሶ ሁሉ እንዳላለ ጉጉት ተጠርምሶ እንባ ቆሞ አውቅም ለቅሷችን ተደርሶ እናት ላፍታ ስቃ ድንኳናችን ፈርሶ እንባ ጎርፎ ፈሶ አለን ስናለቅስ አለን ስናነባ ልፋት ሲቆሰምን ቁጭቱ ሲሰባ ለኑሯችን እድሜ ለማይርቅ ከጉድባ ድካም ለሚበዛው ቢሻገር ከሰባ ስንት ወደቀለት ደም ስጋ ገብሮ ስንቱ የሞተለት አጥንቱን ሰባብሮ አየሩን አስታፍሮ ወሰን አስከብሮ ስንቱ የመነነለት ያገር ፍቅር እውነት ያገር ፍቅር እምነት ያገር እናት የእናት ሀገር እምነት ዘላለም ይወሳል ይዳፈናል እንጂ መች ተፍቆ ይረሳል ወጡን ላይ አጣፍጥ ጉልቻ ቢለወጥ ከሳት ላይ አመልጥ እንጨት ቢመራረጥ የዋለን ዛሬም ንጉስ እየሄደ ንጉስ እየመጣ ካሳ እየተገባው ህዝብ እየተቀጣ በአንድ አይነት ጥያቄ በአንድ አይነት አጀንዳ በዘመነ ምሕረት እንቆጥራለን ፍዳ ካቻምናም ሰው ሞተ አምናም ተደገመ ዘንድሮም ወደቀ ተስፋችን ታመመ አገሬን አደራ አገሬን ጠብቃት ካጠፋችን ማራት ሺህ ዘመን አትቅጣት ያልነው ያሳድገን ለምርጫው አዳራት. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yohanes. So Yohanes, I'm glad you spoke more about the situation in Ethiopia, and that's what I was referring to when I was wishing Ethiopia lots of positive energy right now. It's a very tense time. And you know, I was talking to a few folks before we got started, and we were talking about a lot of the tense changes that are going on in our society, specifically here in the US. But I'm glad, Samson and Yohanes, we have you both here to represent some of the really critical situations that are going on outside of what we see in the media. Because as far as I've seen, I haven't seen anything about what's going on in Ethiopia in our news media, and I'm not surprised we don't see it. But it's important that we use our art to talk about these things. And like you mentioned, Yohanes, to promote the peace and the love and the unity, Samson, you talked about in your poem, because that's really what it's all about. You know, at the end of the day, we are all people just trying to make it through this thing called life. And, you know, we got to do it together. And I was talking earlier before we were on live and everything, that I feel like this moment is different than past times, you know. So I feel like there is more energy, there's more power, there's more unison going on. And I'm glad we have this group together here tonight to prove that that's what we're doing. And I'm glad that we have a space like the American Poetry Museum. I'm glad we live in a time with artists that are really using their art to talk about these things that are important and to drive the message forward.
Thank you, Tati, and thank you, Tati. And I'm thankful for the American Poetry Museum for having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So I just want to take this moment. We are at the end of our show. No more poems for tonight. But I do want to take this moment to thank, first off, everybody who read tonight. Joel, Armando, Dahlia, Samson, Yohanes, thank you so much for taking a little part of your night, your Friday night. I'm sure you've had a long week to be here with us. Thank you to Sammy for helping facilitate all of the background work, even though you don't see him on camera. Everybody who knows American Poetry Museum and DC Art knows Sammy Miranda, so shout out to Sammy. Thank you to the American Poetry Museum for allowing for this space. And most importantly, thank you to everybody who is watching, who shared, who showed some love. Thank you so much, because without y'all, we would just be a group of 6 people talking together. So thank you so much. Stay tuned. We will be back in August. So if you enjoyed it tonight and you want more, you can take a look at our previously recorded ones that we've done in past months. And you can also look forward to our one coming up in August, just like the American Poetry Museum on Facebook. Make sure you connect with all of these artists outside of tonight, and that way you could keep up with us and what each individual is doing in their spaces. All right, thank you so much. Everybody have a good night.
Night, thank you.